Savage.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Titan Uncensored. Today we have the one, the only PJ freaking Savage. Hello.
Savage.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Listen,
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to talk to us. I know you're a very busy man, coming up with this weekend that you have a very big weekend between Invictus, and unfortunately we'll miss you at the Titan show, but you have big things coming up.
Yeah.
You have a lot of big things coming up. You're going to Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, this weekend. That's why I won't be at the Titan show this weekend. Friday night, main event for Invictus for the Social Media Championship, their big old grand championship. And right after that, we're just hopping on a plane and going to Puerto Rico and wrestling in San Juan, Puerto Rico on Saturday and Sunday. So it's pretty cool. It's my first time wrestling in Puerto Rico. It's where my family is from.
Is it your first time going out of country? Like to wrestle?
Well, yeah.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. It's definitely a notch in the cap. So it's pretty cool.
Which all ties into what I'm about to bring up, Mr. Savage. Inception. And it ties in because this Saturday, even though you won't be there, I mean, you're still going to have your chosen people on that show.
Yeah.
You have a pre-show with Andre Polino and Kamikaze. You have Michael Fain, who was the winner of the main event at Inception, going against Ray Calitri. And you have E-Money Millie, who I believe was at the free-for-all and at Inception, if I believe.
Yeah,
that's some pretty big stuff.
There's a lot of bleed over also just on this weekend's Titan show from Chosen. A lot of the Chosen rosters on this card. I'm excited on all fronts, especially Chosen. I got some big announcements for you, for Chosen, for the next show. I guess I could say the name and everything with all that.
Okay.
So let me get the address before I completely botch this.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the free-for-all.
Please.
We've had so much going on that it just wasn't, unfortunately due to things happening in life and in work life and whatever. The free-for-all was right before the Courage and Power show, March 25th, last month. Yeah, last month. And a month and a day ago. How are you feeling? Are you still on that high?
Honestly, if people who know me, who've been following me, know I have a very Derek Jeter mindset to a lot of things I do. I don't enjoy the moment. I don't take my time and revel in it or think about it. And then honestly, ever since the free for all, a lot has just been snowballing. Literally the last 8 matches I've had have been in the main event. So everything has just been nonstop, and everybody knows me. I'm a promoting machine. So you're gonna get promos, you're gonna get this, you're gonna get that. I'm doing podcasts, I'm on media tours, I'm going to do restaurants and pop-ups and pop-ins. So I haven't really had the time to just sit there and go think about how cool it was to have almost 80 people there to just train and try out for a brand new company, and the hunger that's in that locker room and that roster. It's something that I know a lot of companies wish they had. And that just goes to a Titan locker room. Titan locker room is pretty tight-knit and very, what's the next goal?
Right.
And we're very together, and even though we all beat the crap out of each other, and it's very competitive in the locker room. I have all the respect in the world for Anthony Gango. I haven't even got to talk about the main event that me and him had, and people are
Right.
talking about the main event me and Jacko had this past weekend at IWA, and I feel like the Gangon match stands up to that also. Like
Absolutely.
so, but like I haven't had the chance to unravel so much. We went from main event to tryout to documentary stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Everything that I've been doing and been blessed to.
5 years ago, did you think that this would be happening to you?
Oh man, no, no. Uh, did I think I was capable of it? Yeah. Did I think I would get the chance to do it so early? Essentially, start my own company, be a promoter, and be a top guy at the same time. That I would have said no. That I would have said no because I feel like there's no way to do both, and I feel like now I've kind of figured out how to do both, how to still become a top guy on the scene, which I'm still on my way to becoming, and paving my road that way, which is cool because yeah, I'm the promoter for Chosen Pro, and yeah, I'm the producer and the writer and creative and all this handling roster and social media and stuff, but I'm still one of the boys. So it's like this weekend was pretty cool because I'm facing Big Med Bishop at Invictus, which Invictus is very tied into everything Titans doing, especially with Chosen
Right.
Pro Wrestling, with Alex Seta being out, one of our color commentary guys. Um, Leading into this weekend, this Friday night, it's me, Ben Bishop, main event, and I got to put out promos and promote and do all these things, and like seeing my promo basically on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter collectively in less than 24 hours hit 4,000 views. Like
Wow.
pretty damn cool, like, but that's also just me kind of leading by example to the Chosen roster, where it's like, this is how you guys do it. This is how you promote. So it's a cool aspect on that end, and just it's almost like I have a second family kind of rooting me on, and guys like hit me up and going, "Oh, kill it!" And fun fact, a bunch of the Chosen guys are showing up to do ring crew for Invictus just to learn and be a part of the ropes and all that good stuff. So it's so fun. But no, I haven't had the time to really think about how cool this is and the Chosen roster and the tryout and the documentary and
Right.
everything that's come out. I haven't had the time to revel in it, and I kind of like it that way because I wouldn't do it anyway.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, I do want, because we haven't been able to catch up lately. I want to talk about your match with Gangon at
Yeah.
Courage and Power. I I have no words. I mean, it was emotional for me, and I'm an asshole. So watching you guys go out there and just put on a banger, and
Yeah,
just like that was main event.
yeah, that and it was cool, man. It was for even Billy to come up and be like, that's one of the first times he's ever heard a "Fight Forever" chant. Like that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Like watching all the takeovers and the NXT takeovers and hearing the "Fight Forever" chants, Ring of
Right.
Honor, "Fight Forever" chants, and like that's a pretty cool milestone chant to get. And to get that when that crowd was pretty tired. That crowd was pretty like, I kind of want to go home. You could tell they were there, and that's the one thing I like about Titan shows. They're not overkill. It's
Right.
not 17 matches. Yeah, they might put on a lot of matches, but the show runs really smooth. But of course, by any time like that, and that's why I revel in just being in the main event, because I know everyone's tired. I know everyone wants to go home. I know people are just like, oh, so when you get genuine reactions out of them, you know it's real. You know you're getting when you get a "Fight Forever" chant in the last match of the night, and everybody's tired and want to go home, and they're still pouring their energy into it. That's pretty damn special. And Gangon, in his own right, man, like he's a different animal. He's a different animal in that ring. He's smooth as hell. He knows what he's doing. The outcome isn't what I wanted, but I know I'm on the road to that outcome. And I have to be the guy that beats Gango. I don't think there's any other way about it now. I have to get back, earn my spot back, and I have to dethrone Anthony Gango.
I mean, it's for the future, right? That's what the goal. That's your goal. That's the future.
And there's so much. There's so much to want to be the guy at Titan Championship Wrestling. Look what TCW is doing. Like,
right.
let alone with Chosen Pro Wrestling. Yeah, Chosen Pro Wrestling is really cool. But look at Titan right now with the Andre the Giant show that they just announced 2 days ago. August 12th, North Carolina, Titan Championship Wrestling. It's in North Carolina with Andre the Giant on their poster.
Right.
The man battle royal. Like that. Come on. Come on, Mount Olympus, 200-man Mount Olympus. It's oh God, just Titan's making a lot of noise. And in May 20th. May 20th is one of the most stacked shows any company has ever produced. The highest quality show that any company has ever produced out here that's not top tier production, money making company like an MLW, GCW of those natures. But Titan on their level is putting a show that's of caliber like a GCW, like a MLW, like a AEW. Like, think about that card, man. Like, they just announced Trax versus All Japan Wrestling Cyrus. Like, that's huge, man. I wanted to wrestle Cyrus. You have Simon Gotcha on the show. You still have Ultimo Dragon on the show. Who knows what Ultimo Dragon's doing?
Right.
Who knows what Anthony Gangon's doing? Who knows? You know, like the possibilities are endless. And then you got me versus Homicide on that show. It's like, no, I can't even.
I know that's been a goal for you.
Oh, that's a huge goal for me, man. I'm so like, I grew up. Yes, I grew up in the Attitude Era, but I also grew up like just being a teenager and adolescent, just watching Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor was huge for me. That was one of the companies I watched more than anything. Like I would geek out just getting a Ring of Honor DVD as a kid. Like, it was huge, you know.
Right.
Like, this is stuff for me that it goes so far back. And Homicide for me was almost like, can it happen? It's almost like when someone asks me a dream match, I want to say Triple H,
Right.
but I know that's something that can't happen because Triple H has heart conditions and, you know, like he's going through his health
Right.
issues. So is that something that's realistic? No. Homicide was probably one of those matches for me that for some whatever reason was just like, is it realistic? Like, can it happen because of how much he meant to me as a kid? How much he meant to me growing up? Because he was the first person I saw on the screen when, I watched him on Ring of Honor, but that was like, you know, low cut DVDs and, you know, you had to scan to get those and that wasn't WWE. But then like seeing him on Impact, that was huge for me because Impact was getting some notoriety. It was growing in the right direction. And then LAX, and it came from, you know, the LWO after WCW closed down. And then LAX was kind of the revitalization with that with Conan. And watching him do that with Hernandez, like those, Homicide was the first guy that I watched on TV and was like, I look like that.
Yeah.
You know, like, so that was probably one of the first hopes for me. Like, you know what? I can do that. Being a kid from New York, being a little hoodlum, you know, like that was me, you know, big baggy clothes, big shorts, ripped up t-shirt, bandanas, and like that was me. So like to get to face Homicide is almost like stepping in the ring with one of my idols, and that's huge, man. That's huge. You know, like Mac was on that list for me, and I knew Mac was a possibility because we walked the same grounds as on Titan. You know, like that was something that could happen. And I never forget it, man. Like it kind of hit me like it could happen when Homicide came to support Mac at one of our Titan shows, and seeing him watch the show and like look at me, and I was looking at him, and it was just like the only thing that kept going through my mind was like, can it happen? And then Mac would look at me and go, I know you want that match. And it was like, oh God, don't tease me. Just get away. And
well, now you have that match.
Yeah, man, now it's here. So, man, it's awesome. It's awesome, man. I can't even put it into words. Puerto Rico, Homicide, Gangon, everything that's going on everywhere else, main event after main event. I am truly blessed right now. And then as what's on the horizon is even cooler. So let's I'm all gas, no brakes.
There you go. That's the motto. And I mean, hey, you know, I want to talk about the free for all just a few more minutes. Top 10. Explain the top 10 to us, please.
So the Chosen 10. The Chosen 10 are 10 men and women that stood out above the rest. And no matter what, they are solidified in Chosen Pro Wrestling's history. They are always going to be a part of the lore. They're always going to be into storylines, heavily into storylines going into future. They're a big part of the company's plans. They earned a spot, a big spot. Right. You know, like there's a heavyweight championship at Chosen Pro Wrestling, and it's coming. And it will be held by one of the Chosen 10. For someone outside of the Chosen 10, I'm not saying there's no chance for you to grab that championship, because there is. But damn, you're gonna have to put your foot on someone. Yeah, you're gonna have to
work for it.
You're gonna have to fight, because the Chosen 10 are some hardworking men and women. Like, you got Michael Fane. Michael Fane's in the Chosen 10. You got Trey Felipe. You got Nikolai White. And we all saw the main event that they had at Inception.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, you got to live up to that. And there were so many people on that match that, like, on that whole card. Like, there was a couple candidates for match of the night. You had Miles Penn versus Justin Bon Jovi, which came out of nowhere. And before the main happened, it was like, is that match of the night? And, like, Justin Bon Jovi really surprised a lot of people. Miles Penn has a bright future. The kid's only 18 years old. So, like, oh, man, that was so good. And then Fly Nye and Joe Crew almost got the building shut down and then made everybody love their match. It was like, Jesus Christ, but that bled intensity. And that was kind of like, I can't be mad at the wrestlers for being me. Like, that's all they did. They just, like, it was like two PJ Savages in the ring where you had Joe Crew and Fly Nye Noriega just beating the living crap out of each other. And, like,
hell yeah, they were.
The match, they both had bloody chests. Like, that's like, you can't get any better than that, man. And, oh, God, there were so many other highlights on that show. The audacity always impresses. Harleen Lopez and Joni Burke, the first ever women's match in the company's history.
Yep. The explosive division.
Oh, God. Explosive division. That's my little baby. I love the explosive division.
I love that for you.
Because, yeah, I love that.
I want to know what you... Actually, you know what? Spill it right now. What is your goal with that division? What do you want to come out of that division?
So, again, like, watching... So, this even goes back to Homicide. Like, watching TNA. Right. Watching Impact, the X Division. I was heavily influenced by the X Division. Guys like Samoa Joe, I patterned my style after Samoa Joe. He went from Ring of Honor straight into the X Division. So he's somebody that, like, I love the concept of the X Division, because there's big guys that can move. There's little guys that can move. Everyone, and it doesn't matter who it is, what weight, what size. No, there's no weight class. The only thing is, are you explosive? Like, are you going to just come in and just hit somebody, create a car crash? We saw Kamikaze in the first ever explosive match. I don't know what kind of Tower of Doom backflip move came out of those guys' match, but it was just one of those moments where it was like, what just happened? And then you got a guy like Nikolai White, who's legit like 6'3", 6'4", in the main event, carrying the main event, doing something huge. He's going to pop up in the X Division match. And right. the one of the staples going forward, so I guess this is one of the first breaking news, is there's always going to be one singles match for the explosive division, and there will always be the fatal 4-way explosive division match on every single Chosen show. And I made that decision after Inception, where it was like, there's a lot to play with here, and I always want the explosive division to be showcased.
Right.
So those two matches you will always see on the card, and who's going to be in that fatal 4-way, you never know. So it's so good. It's so good. I love it.
So you said you had another sneaky link,
okay,
announcement for us. What would that have to be?
Let's just break it now.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
News,
PJ Savage is about to talk. Everyone, stop talking.
Let's just start up the hype train for it now. The poster will drop in a week or two. But the next Chosen show, the next CPW show, is June 10th.
Okay.
I'm getting the address right now. It is in the Hoboken Elks Lodge.
Oh wow, that's where we had Aftermath.
Yeah,
That's
so
huge.
Chosen's going to Hoboken, and that, oh god, I love that. I love that. When the opportunity came across my lap, it was like, yes, this needs
Yeah,
to,
you can't deny that
it
opportunity.
needs to
Absolutely.
happen. It needs to happen. Hoboken's almost an untapped market, and there's a lot of wrestling fans there itching to watch some wrestling, and a lot of our rosters from Hoboken, which I just
Oh,
found. Yeah,
interesting.
and then there's a lot of our roster that is also in New York.
Right.
Hoboken's 15 minutes away from New York City.
Right.
And that's by public transportation. So
in case anyone needs to know, PJ got you. Any form of transportation, you ask PJ, he'll let you know every route.
I got you. And I know Titan wants to tap into the Hoboken market and really, really take it over. And I think the best way to do that is to spearhead it with Chosen.
Absolutely.
And let Titan come in every once in a while and have that big show to set things up. You know what I'm saying? But let Chosen set the table. Aftermath was amazing. That's where I faced Rekin Bologursky.
Yeah.
It was an amazing show. Like you can't. It's
the moose heads on the wall is what does it for me.
Yeah.
The moose heads telling the wrestlers that they suck. That's what does it for me.
100%. And so, June 10th, CPW presents Summer Shock. It's called Summer
Shock.
Yeah.
Okay.
I almost have it mixed up because there's a very similar name that's going to happen in the September show. We'll get to that when it comes. But yeah, Summer Shock, June 10th, CPW, kicking off the summer. The right
Hoboken, New Jersey.
Yeah, Summer Shock's almost our SummerSlam. Okay. I wanted that. Just I'm a dusty mark, so I put a lot of thought into the names of the shows.
Right.
There's meaning behind them. These are the pillar shows, because who knows, next year Chosen Pro Wrestling could be running every single month. And if that's the case, awesome. But if that is the case, the pillar shows will always be there. So you always have Inception, you always have Summer Shock, and of course the final show of the year that's already been announced, Final Fight. So
hell yeah,
it's gonna be awesome.
Every year we're just gonna have in the next 20 years, Summer Shock 20.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's a freaking tongue twister.
Yeah, it is. Who knows? Summer Shock 20, Summer Shock 36. Who knows, man? Like the possibilities are endless.
Well, that's what Chosen's about, is getting noticed and getting yourself out there and going to promotions. And we had a really good turnout from what I saw at the free for all of all the other promotions. They loved it. It was a great day.
Yeah. And so one more piece of breaking news I want to lay out here. And if I was on the Chosen roster, this would piss me off.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I was on that roster, this would upset me. So if anybody from the roster is watching right now, please be extremely upset at this.
He wants you to get angry.
Yeah. And I'm going to leave this up to the roster. So the main event is undecided. The main event for Summer Shock is undecided, except for one thing.
Uh-oh.
The newly acquired member of the roster will be in the main event of Summer Shock. Prince Ahmed.
Okay.
Prince Ahmed will headline Summer Shock. Who wants that fight?
I do.
Who wants that fight? All the members of the roster, you know where to find me. You know where to message me. You know where to get me. Blow up my DMs right now. Okay. Show me who wants it more. Who wants the newly acquired Prince Ahmed?
I'm right here.
There you
I'm
go.
right here. Let's go, PJ. Well, it'll be a handicap match. You and me against Ahmed. I'm down.
I'm not fighting Ahmed. We got to work to that. I'm not fighting him. That man's a whole handful. The newly crowned Sanctuary Heavyweight Champion.
Which I was gonna bring that up. Congratulations on your return back to the Sanctuary.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Honestly, just if I could just shoot, just real, be behind.
No, real, absolutely.
No promoting, no nothing. It when I left the Sanctuary about a year ago, and I didn't do last season, there was a minor fallout. It wasn't with me. But being back there on Sunday, which it wasn't announced, even though we knew this was gonna be the plan, but we didn't want to like spoil it. It was their big rumble, and that was a big surprise coming back. It felt good to have that respect be handed down of being the surprise and having that trust of people popping when your music hits. But not only that, just being let back in the fold and everybody hugging each other. And I miss those guys, man.
Yeah.
I miss those guys. I know John Trotsky has one hell of a rep out here. Some people hate him. Some people love him.
I love him. I love the guy.
I'm one of those guys that I love him, man. The way I describe it,
the Sanctuary have always been amazing. So
the way I describe John Trotsky, he's a mad genius. He just is. The way his brain works, and then his hair's all crazy. And the man during the show, he's gonna do commentary. He's gonna be the camera guy. He's gonna be the lighting guy. He's gonna do everything, and all of this happens in one moment.
Yeah.
And he's one special individual, and I love learning from him. I love being next to him, just being part of that tree, and just with those guys over there, man. I have so when I left Johnny's, when I left Gleason's gym,
right,
Sanctuary became my home. That became my home away from home. Yeah, it was 3 hours from me, but I would troop the 3 hours to go up there every week, every other week, and that became my home. Those guys became my brothers, like Andre Polino, who's on the Chosen roster. Is a very close friend of mine. J.S. Hawthorne. I love that hairy bastard. You know, like there's so many guys over there that I could just praise all day, but it felt good. It was like healing for the soul, just being back up there, and it felt like I was back in the grind. And I don't feel that too much that often. Just that old school, like first hit the indies and you're doing every show possible, and you don't even care if you get a hot dog at the end of the night. You're just showing up to lace your boots. And there's a lot of hungry guys like that up there, man. And being in there and being in that environment was so good.
I mean, two of those guys that were okay, maybe not, but two of the guys from the Sanctuary were actually at the free for all. Andre Polino and Vincent Torres.
Yeah, two members of the Chosen roster now. Mm-hmm. And believe me, it wasn't favoritism. They earned it.
Absolutely.
There was just so much. Like, who knows? Maybe a Hawthorne to pop up on Chosen. Who knows? Maybe Trotsky could be the GM of Chosen Pro Wrestling. Who would have that? You know what I'm saying? Like, the possibilities are endless, but that's what I love about Chosen Pro Wrestling, because Chosen Pro Wrestling works with everybody. Right. You don't shut the door on any promotion. If you're reputable, you have respect to your name, we're going to work with you and move forward. And it's an awesome time right now. It's so cool.
You're thriving.
Yeah.
Thriving. I see it on your cheeks. I just want to pinch them. Like, oh, look at little PJ thriving in life.
So like everything for me is training to sign a contract.
Right.
I want to be the guy. Like I remember hearing this story about AJ Styles one time, where he was in Saudi Arabia and then they needed him back on Raw, and it was just gonna be a tough flight to get back to Saudi, but AJ still did it. Like, he right after his match got on the plane in gear, flew to Saudi, and then all of a sudden they needed somebody to show up somewhere in some random town in Indiana the next morning after all to do a 6 a.m. radio thing, and AJ volunteered. Like, that's that's a grind. That's a major grind. Like there's guys that are in that company that won't do it. And I want to do that stuff. That's the stuff that I want to do, that I'm made to do. So it's pretty cool to like kind of do it, to kind of do that now. My son almost made a cameo.
It's
But,
okay. He could join. No big deal.
Come say hi. Come say hi. Come. Well, the allergies are getting bad again.
All right, so come on.
Come. Either you say hi or you go, baby.
Come on.
Can you go inside and check on Pop? The house one's calling me.
Yeah, go inside.
Oh my god. All right, go.
No, turn the light on.
Well, then come say hi.
Just say hi.
Oh, we gotta hurry. Come.
I could have just texted Stevie.
All right, put a shirt on, baby.
Sure.
Listen, he's running around like Cody Rhodes.
These kids are a big part of your life, and that's what we're here for. We're here for the raw, uncensored PJ.
That's what you're getting right now.
The tired, I want to take a nap PJ.
Come here, little Lucas. This is little Lucas Savage. Ah!
Lucas. Hi, Lucas.
Say hi.
You're so cute.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
My baby.
Are you going to wrestle like your dad?
You gonna be a wrestler like Daddy?
No.
No, little liar.
That's funny. But I want to now, with you being a chosen promoter, with you being a Titan roster member, with you being in the wrestling field itself, my last question for you is, what is your advice to the upcomers? Coming from just a person in general, what is your best advice for upcomers?
Take your time. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow. That's a big part of the mental battle that a lot of us wrestlers go through, and people just in the business.
Right.
It's just tough, man. It's a tough business, and you're gonna put a lot on your mind to get through with it. Like, yes, I'm a wrestler and I'm going through it all and I'm thriving right now, right? Like when you look at the schedule and you look at everything that I'm doing, I'm as happy as I can be. You know what I'm saying? But my son's battling allergies and is going through really bad. I'm getting probably 2 hours of sleep a night. I was on the phone with Billy talking about allergy medicine for my kids.
Right.
Like, this is real life stuff. This is uncensored. Whatever you got going on in your real life, as tough as it might get, don't stop. Because if I stop, it stops for me.
Right.
If I go, I'm too tired, or I can't do it, or whatever the case may be, or life is just kicking my ass. No, I don't. You know what? Hey, Alex, like something cool happened to me for WrestleMania weekend. I got to host the WrestleMania party. I woke up to the restaurant and my face is in this big old Hudson Mall. And my face is big plastered on a poster in the middle of the mall. And it's like, holy crap. Right. Yeah, I wanted to stay home with my son and be with him, but I sacrifice a lot. Right. But don't let it stop you. Do not. Just do it, man. Just do it. And that's what this business is about, man. You're going to miss birthdays. You're going to miss holidays. You're going to miss I want to be a part of that Ric Flair crew. I want to wrestle 3 times on Christmas Day. Will it suck for my kids? Maybe. But will they be there in the crowd? I hope so. And if they're not, they're going to understand. And we'll have this conversation later on. Like, everything's revolving around wrestling for me. So that's one of the things I would probably tell the guys besides take it slow. Modify your life if you really want this. Like, if you really want this, you have to turn every aspect of your life into professional wrestling. And if it isn't, it's going to deter you. It just is, because that's how life is. And you're going to get thrown obstacle after obstacle every single day. And you have to turn so you might understand what I'm saying now. Your real world does not exist anymore. It's only
I've been
wrestling.
told that a few times.
It's only wrestling. Your wrestling world is your new real world. That was told to me by Johnny Rods. And when I really started to apply that to my life, I started to thrive under him. I became head trainer, heavyweight champion, and getting match after match, wrestling guys like Bobby Lashley. But that's because he saw that I was really applying that message of my wrestling life is my real life now. And then when you start taking like things you learn in the wrestling world or like little nuances you learn in professional wrestling, and then you start applying them to your real life, and like whatever bad relationships you have, you start politicking them and you're really, like you're on the right track, bro. You're on the right track because now you're really just doing it without even noticing. But
Right.
you really have to like change your life because you can become successful in wrestling. Whether you want to be a podcaster, whether you want to be a photographer, whether you want to be a professional wrestler, announcer, commentator, whatever the case may be, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You just
Absolutely.
can't. You just can. And even me and Prince Ahmed, when we was talking about coming to Chosen, he's from Johnny Rods. He's a close, like he's
Right.
who he is to me. And he's one hell of a talent. But me and him are cut from the same cloth of like, like Prince Ahmed should be a Titan guy. But
I
he's
agree.
going to Chosen. And he's earning his stripes because he wants to move up and he wants to show people what he has. And he's like, he likes that Chosen platform and he's choosing the Chosen platform. And Chosen's choosing him. So it's going to be awesome. But me and him, we had that conversation of just like John Trotsky and some of the things he said online. And you don't take pictures with, wrestlers and a lot of the other stuff that he came out and said. And in today's world, is he wrong? Maybe. But the one thing you can't deny is old school guys, the Johnny Rods of this world, that's how they trained a PJ
That's
Savage.
how they were trained. Right.
Yeah, that's how I was trained, and there's some validity to it. And like X-Pac rebutted it and was like, no, you take the pictures. And he's right. Go ahead, because and the only thing that changed my stance on that is seeing a lot of our brothers and sisters pass away.
Right.
That kind of sucks, I've been more taking pictures, but I still don't post them. I put them up in my house or whatever the case may be. There's still a part of me that's like, no, you don't do it, But that's because I was trained and drilled in my head the old school way. So there's a part of this business that me and Ahmed, we know who's in the mafia. You just know. You just know and it comes from how you were trained and who made you a made man. It's very mafia-ish. And if you're cut from that same cloth, you do certain things and you could recognize somebody who's in the mafia. You know what I'm saying? Or if he's connected, like us wrestlers trained, we know. But one of the things about today's world is there's no right or wrong anymore. There isn't. You can't kill somebody. You can't take away opportunities because of a certain way you were taught. We have to, and this is one of my goals. And I remember saying this. This was one of my goals just going forward when I first went to Johnny's, because he teaches you in a very old school way, even
Right.
in the style of wrestling. So one of my goals was to be the hybrid, to be the marriage of today and yesterday.
Okay.
When it came to my style of wrestling and the professional wrestler that I'm going to become, and
Right.
the person I'm going to become in this business. I will always keep the old school values and traditions and keep them alive. But I will also welcome change.
Right.
And that's one thing about me that I hope that helps me succeed. So that's another dime for you guys, man. Whoever's watching, take that from me. Keep it. Make it your own.
Run with it. Absolutely.
100%.
We appreciate you. We appreciate your time. And we are very excited. We will have you on again, of course, talking about the summer show and
Yep.
Hoboken. And we might even revisit Titan after your match with Homicide.
Yeah, man. There's a lot to unpack. So June 10th, Summer Shock, Chosen Pro Wrestling. It's the next on the table. But before that, we got Next Level on Saturday.
Next Level at Titan in Manchester Little League this Saturday, April 29th. Doors open at 6 o'clock. The Chosen Pro Wrestling, excuse me, pre-show match. Pre-show match between Kamikaze and Andre Polino.
Yeah.
We have Michael Fain versus Ray Calitri.
Yep.
And we have Eli Money Millie. Money Millie. There's so many words against Flash Carter. So, PJ, we wish you the best of luck at both Invictus and in Puerto Rico. We can't wait to hear all about it. Congratulations again on your first Chosen show.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking with us today, and we will see you guys soon.